Hey guys, this is Avanti, and in today's video I'm going to be answering the maker W.I.P tag by Becca C. Smith. And yeah, I guess that's it. Let's roll the intro. So first of all, because my channel has been about art and mostly digital and traditional or whatever art, this might come as a little bit of a surprise that I'm into writing. I think in one of my videos that I haven't uploaded yet, or maybe I have by this time this goes up, I already mentioned that I'm into writing, but I've never finished anything. Anyway, the thing is, what I wanted to say is that storytelling in general has been kind of my motivation, I guess, also with art and with writing as well, obviously. And that is the part that I enjoy the most. So, and storytelling in art, it doesn't have to be like comics or anything, but drawing my characters doing things and setting them in scenes, doing things is like the thing why I am doing anything artistic or creative, I guess. So also, before we begin the tag, I want to say is that writing has never been, my main thing until, I guess, a couple of months ago. The thing is that I was kind of in this art block, you can say. So I wasn't in the mood to draw anything, but then I was very much in the mood to write stuff. So I also checked out a lot of tutorials and videos on writing. The most important or the most useful resource I found was Brandon Sanderson's writing class. The whole thing is on YouTube, and the more I learned about writing, the more I realized how I should do it, because I didn't know much about the craft. I just sat down and wrote stuff, and that was it. But now I think I learned a lot, and I'm very much into it. And also right now I'm also in the mood to draw things, and I found this tag and I was really happy about it, so I guess I'm going to be doing it. But still, before we begin with the first question, what I also want to mention is that this story is one of my latest ideas, I guess you could say, and so it's very, very much a W.I.P. So I just thought it would be like a fun, maybe I'm hoping not a very long project, but maybe it will be. And so all the things that I have of this story right now are a couple of characters, a couple of scenes, a bit of a draft for a bunch of scenes, and a bit of an outline, a bit of a setting / world building / brainstorming done, and that's it. So it's nothing really set in stone, but I just wanted to do this tag because I just thought maybe this will be my NaNoWriMo project, my first ever NaNoWriMo project, and yeah, I just want to talk about it, I guess. So yeah, and during NaNoWriMo I just want to see how far I can go with a brand new project. Yes, so let's do the thing. The first question is, what is the title or working title of your work in progress, and what genre is it in? So the working title is Vampire Hunter, because I mean the core idea is about a guy becoming a vampire and wanting to kill other vampires, or at least the vampire who made him a vampire. Anyway, I guess as the story will develop, I will just put in more and interesting ideas, because so far it's not a lot, but it's okay for a start. Also, it's a fantasy. I guess it will be a young adult fantasy, a bit of a murder mystery as well. The thing is about this young adult, epic, whatever fantasy genre, this distinction is that I would rather, so if I say that I want to write an epic fantasy, that's very intimidating for me. So I'm just saying, it's going to be a young adult. Maybe it will be more serious later on. We'll see. Yeah, another thing about like vampire stories is that I've read or watched, or so to say consumed, a couple of vampire stories, but like what I felt is that the core idea, like the vampire idea, I think is really cool, but in none of the stories I've seen so far was it executed like it would click with me, if that makes sense. So I just want to write something that I would enjoy in a vampire story. So second question, what are you making for this video? How does it relate to your W.I.P? Well, as you can see, I'm drawing a page in my sketchbook about the characters from my novel idea. In my sketchbook, on the left, it's Augustin and his little sister, Eleanor. I like it better, since the pronunciations are mixed a lot. Like Augustin is like the French version of Augustine, or Augustine. Anyway, yeah, and on the right it's just Eleanor. About this drawing, so I just wanted to sketch them. I never really drew these characters before. Obviously, because it's a vampire story, they are both gonna become vampires in the first couple of chapters. And the thing is that even though the story is set in a made-up world, I kind of gave them this Edwardian, Victorian, vintage fashion aesthetic, because that is the thing that comes to mind when I think of vampires. Maybe I will change it later. I'm still, in the beginning of this whole project, so maybe I will come up with something else. Also, I'm not sure this is actually accurate, or historically accurate fashion, but it's a drawing anyways. Third question, use one word to describe your main character. If your book has multiple POVs, then one word for each of them. This was very hard to read out loud. I don't know why. So Augustin is the main character in my story, and there will be no other POVs. The word that best describes him, I think, is calculated, because he's like not really an emotional character. He's kind of like cold, keeps his distance here and there. So there are some scenes I have in mind where he, and also one I drafted already, but when he loses his temper, and even to him that's like something he doesn't always do. Like after that he reflects upon the whole thing, and he judges himself or critiques himself very harshly. And like the thing is that I think he's the first ever character who is like, I want him to be like this emotionally cold, well calculated character, and I think it's really, really fun so far. Alright, next question. What is your elevator pitch for your W.I.P? 1 or 2 sentences that give us a snapshot of your book that would entice a reader to want to read it. Okay, I tried my best doing this elevator pitch. Well, here it goes. Augustin didn't want to become a vampire, but it's rarely a choice, isn't it? He's plotting his revenge, but he quickly learns something. Or some things. 1. Maybe not all vampires deserve to die. And 2. He is not the only one thirsting revenge. So yeah, as I said, I haven't figured out a lot, but this is, I guess, enticing to read and to write, well, soon. Yeah, I think that's like the core conflict of the story, and I will have a lot of like side characters to come up with. I have some base characters and some ideas, but it's a W.I.P. Okay, next question. Who is your favorite character? Doesn't have to be an MC. And why? Well, it doesn't have to be, but Augustin is pretty much my favorite character, which is funny because usually when I read or like watch a show or something, the main characters are almost never my favorite characters, and to me it's a really exciting thing that I can finally make the main character my favorite character in, like, you know, my stories. Yeah. Yeah, as I said, he's like kind of like, so he's a very like cold and keeps his distance, or how I should say it. But that is the thing that makes him, I think, appealing, because he's, you know, but he's also like have like some more positive traits, like he's very moral, and like he's very protective, like he wants to protect his family and his little sister. And I think during the story or throughout the story he will learn to like other people and become friends with other people / vampires. And I think if so a character who is like him, who is like very distant, learning to respect someone or to accept someone is a very interesting thing in itself. Yeah. The other thing is that Augustin's little sister Eleanor, she's slowly becoming a kind of interesting character as well, which I'm really happy about, because usually I don't click with female characters. Like, maybe it's the author's fault, maybe it's my fault, but in general I don't really like female characters, and also I don't make female characters like in D&D or something. So I'm really happy that she's actually becoming a character I'm happy about and who I really like. So yeah. Next question, where or when does your book take place? So I haven't named it yet, and also I should make a map or something, but it's basically a made up fantasy world where, I mean, it's not fantasy world like, I don't know, in Tolkien, so, or maybe there will be some other races like elves, for example, because I love elves. But in this world, to some degree, magic exists. Also, vampires exist, and like some so-called supernatural beings. But so far, I'm just experimenting with the whole setting, and I'm trying to see, what elements of a world would make the core story important, because I think first I need the plot and everything, a bit more developed, and then I will add a couple of world building elements to make the whole story stronger, I guess. Yeah, so 7th question. If you were stuck on a deserted island, which character would you want with you? So, this was, I think, an easy choice, because I wouldn't take any of the vampires, because, at a place where even I will get sunburned, then poor vampires wouldn't last like 5 minutes there. So, I'm choosing not the only non-vampire character, but Augustin has an uncle, Lysander, and he's the reason why I would choose him is that he's funny, he knows a lot of, occult, magical stuff, and also he knows how to fight, and he can use a bunch of weapons. He's proficient in a bunch of weapons, and he's also like kind of part of this order that protects the humans, I guess. I haven't developed it a lot, but so I would say that he would protect me, and in the deserted island, that he's like resourceful and he would do shit, and in the meanwhile he would be the person who would just tell stories of his life and of his adventures, and yeah, so in general he would be resourceful, and he would also be like entertaining, so he's the best choice I have. Alright, and last question. What is your favorite location or spot in your VIP? A place where you wish existed and that you could visit or just hang out yourself? Actually, it's a tiny bit of a hard question, because I don't have the whole world made up yet. Maybe I won't even make up the whole world, just a couple of locations or elements. But what I already love about it is, this whole vampire aesthetic, of course. So it also comes with, castles and stuff, although it's not really the vampire castles that I would like to hang out in, but Augustine's family, they are rich and whatever, and they have this like cozy but also vintagey, very nice like manor outside of the city in the forest, and I think that is the place I would like to hang out in. And I guess it's not far from like an actual manor in our world, I don't have one, but also like the vintage furniture and, you know, looking out from the window by the candlelight with a book in my hand and just rain outside and just looking at the garden next to the house. I think the whole thing has like a very nice like cozy but also vintagey atmosphere, and yeah, I guess that is what I would choose as a place. So this was the Maker W.I.P. It was really fun, and it also, you know, made me think about this whole story just a little differently. Then, you know, some of the questions made me think about this story more, or I don't know how to say it. So this was fun, and maybe I will do this tag also with like my other stories in the future. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Check out my Gumroad store and gallery, links in the description and whatever, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.